What if I told you that these 11 NBA players attended one camp in the summer that helped gain them up to $200 million and are estimated to earn nearly $500 million? Would you believe me? This event is called Adidas Nations. Adidas for 1 week would hold this event for some of the best high school and college players in America. This footage is from 2014 Adidas Nations that featured high schoolers at the time: Jaylen Brown, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Dennis Smith Jr., De'Aaron Fox, and Thon Maker. College players that were featured were Montrezl Harrell, Norman Powell, Kelly Oubre, Stanley Johnson, and Frank Kaminsky. Plenty others were there, but these are the 11 that I picked to combine contracts for money made in their professional careers and money estimated for their professional contracts in the NBA. It all starts out with head officials from Adidas informing NBA GMs and scouts if they are having Adidas Nations at the end of the basketball travel season. That is usually scheduled for the month of August. Later, they tell national media the date. Let me remind you that some of these high school players started playing travel ball around March, and it lasts all the way till August. Evaluations begin, but honestly, they never stop. A mixture of shoe companies, example, Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, regular circuits that are in the travel game, hold their events for NCAA coaches and scouts. Then the word spreads like fire about who is who and who isn't. After the 4 to 5 month period, invitations for Adidas Nations are sent out, and these mean a little more than your usual invitation to an event, mainly because the player's advisor or parents know that NBA scouts and GMs will be in attendance to evaluate. Once players have decided on attending, lead officials break them down and put them on teams. Mind you that hence the word nations, they bring in talent from all over the world. Team Australia, Team Asia, Team Africa, and USA teams red, blue, or Adidas NBA players, Harden, Lillard, etc. Once this is decided, players are tested and measured by a third party that Adidas hires. Tests that are taken similar to the ones done in NBA combines. I believe this gives the accurate information so they don't need to go off of he said, she said. They already know the measurements of a certain player. During this test, high school players and college players, also known as college counselors, are broken into stations. At this stage, a lot of the best high school players are humbled by the college counselors who have NBA aspirations in their sights. Now these drills are your average basketball drills, but a whole lot is at stake with media and NBA scouts watching your every move. This whole process is about 6 hours throughout the day, but probably the equivalent of 3 weeks of practice for some players. And that is why the practice drills really set apart the men from the boys. During this Nations, Jerry Stackhouse, Trace McGrady, and Mark Madsen were a few of the ex-NBA players that helped guide the players. Now after this, players go back to their teams. The facility they're using is called Next Level. It has a combined 16 courts and a baseball field, 6 to 8 courts for head-to-head matchups, and a full referee crew and scoreboard. After each game, their stats are available on demand for anyone in the building to attain. At the end of the weekend, the team with the best win-loss record gets to play on ESPN in front of a live audience. During this event, Chase Jeter decided to announce that he was attending Duke, and it's probably a decision that he probably wished he could take back. Most of the NBA scouts stay at the college counselor games to see which older player might be selected in the upcoming draft. And that's where I'll start. Stanley Johnson, Montrezl Harrell, Norman Powell, Frank Kaminsky, and Kelly Oubre would all go to the NBA after their respective college seasons. Montrezl Harrell was drafted 32nd overall by the Houston Rockets and was traded to the Clippers in 2017. Although his contracts had earned him $9.5 million with an estimated worth of $15.5 million after 2020. Frank Kaminsky, drafted by the Charlotte Hornets and is now with the Phoenix Suns, has earned himself $16.5 million with an estimate of $21.5 million after this season. Stanley Johnson was drafted by the Detroit Pistons and is now with the Toronto Raptors, netting him a total of nearly $16.5 million in his 5-year career, with an estimated $20.2 million. Kelly Oubre, drafted by the Wizards in 2015, and he is now with the Phoenix Suns, has netted $24.8 million in his 5 years in the NBA, with an estimated $39.2 million after his last contract year. But the biggest steal of them all might be Norman Powell. He was drafted by the Toronto Raptors in 2015. This San Diego native has netted himself $22.4 million, but is estimated to make $44.9 million in his last contract year. With those 5 players, their total combined earned revenue is nearly $90 million in just 5 short years. But it gets better. Their estimated total for their last contract year is a whopping $141.3 million. This shows the power of such an event like Adidas Nations, who look to the future of the NBA game. Now to the high school players that were showcased at this Adidas Nations. Jaylen Brown, Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox, Dennis Smith Jr., Brandon Ingram, and Thon Maker. Thon Maker was known as the kid that had a question mark nearly everywhere, but one question mark that was always answered was yes, he will be in the NBA. Since leaving Canada, Thon has earned himself a nice chunk of change in his NBA career with $11.6 million and is estimated to finish with $16.4 million at the end of his final contract. Dennis Smith Jr. was all too familiar with Adidas Nations because he actually ended up tearing his ACL in this event, but came back the very next year as a college counselor just to prove that he was good. He has earned himself a trip to the Big Apple with $11.5 million earned and an estimated $24.8 million after his final contract. Brandon Ingram was another player that some didn't know about, but like I said, if you have talent, Adidas Nations reps knew who you were, and he's actually done very well for himself, earning a starting spot in the New Orleans Pelicans rotation with Adidas Nations alums Lonzo Ball and Zion Williamson. He has earned himself $23.8 million in his 4 years and is estimated to make $33.3 million after his final contract year. De'Aaron Fox is well known around the basketball community for being quick and relentless, but a lot of the kids know about him from his battles with Lonzo Ball at Kentucky. but fact-checked here. They're cool, and again, Adidas Nations alum that were on the same squad in 2014. De'Aaron has done very well for himself in the capital of California, Sacramento, earning $16.4 million and an estimated $35.3 million after his last contract year. Lonzo Ball. We all know about how his basketball career has flourished, but during this time he was still trying to prove his worth. Yes, we know about LeVar being his hype man, but NBA GMs and scouts needed to see it with their own eyes. That's where Adidas Nations comes in. Most already knew of the 6'7" point guard from Chino Hills that was committed to UCLA, but they wanted to see him in action with some of the best in his class. He was paired with De'Aaron Fox, Dennis Smith Jr., and Thon Maker. Although he didn't have the best camp, he did come out on top with being the number 2 overall pick in the 2017 draft, earning himself $22.4 million and an estimate of $47.8 million after his last contract year. It's safe to say that the big baller didn't need to take anyone else's advice but his own. Jaylen Brown heads this list in money because of his value for his Boston Celtics and head coach Brad Stevens. I was taken back when I first saw him and couldn't believe how good he really was. Slicing through defenders and shooting over them with ease, it was easy to foresee him making tons of money in the NBA. And guess what? That's exactly what he has done, earning himself $21.4 million and is estimated to earn $128.4 million after his final contract year. When you add it all up for the players, they have already earned nearly $108 million and are estimated to earn up to $286 million in their very short NBA careers. Now this is where it gets even crazier. If we add up how much these 11 players have made in their short careers since this 2014 event, it's nearly $200 million. And if we add up the estimated value, it's $427 million. Now the first thing you're probably asking yourself is, where is this money coming from? Well, it's from you, the consumer, and NBA partnerships. So if you ever get the chance to attend one of these events as a spectator or even a player, take advantage of the wonderful spot you've been given because it might not present itself again. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Tell me how you guys like this video, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you keep it locked here for Quick 11. I'll do more breakdown videos, do more of this kind of stuff, and you guys have a blessed day.